Hello and welcome again to another episode of Passion Unscripted. And we are going to be talking about, before I tell you what we are going to be talking about, let's just say hello. My name is Irina Portnova, and I'm here with my great two women, Tobi Staples and Dina Alexander. And I'm so fortunate and grateful for them because three of us, we just, unpeeling these onions without even crying. We just, do what we meant here to do, just, speaking the naked truth and just, like feel good about it and knowing that there is no shame, there is no blame. We all in it together. And the more knowledge people are going to have, right, the more clarity they will discover for themselves, because this is the topic that not really talked much. So it's our duty to bring it into light and share with everybody and see how everybody feels about it. And today, our topic is fears during intimacy.
Irina, may I start?
Of course.
I do think sexual intimacy can evoke a range of fears and anxieties, which can significantly impact us, our ability to engage joyfully and into everything. Okay? Understanding your fears and knowing how to address them is crucial for fostering healthy, intimate relationship. So, along when we are talking, I will be sharing some fears I do get in my office when people come in, and then we can talk about it. The first I'll start is the performance anxiety,
Mhm.
fear of performance, and it usually in the men. It's usually in men.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. It's more for men than for women.
Yeah, I would like to share put this on the table. You know why? Because women, they the majority of women, they are like dolls. They are just lying there and letting the men. They are taught that they just have to lie there, and it's a very it's dumb. It's dumb because if you lie there, you are not going to enjoy. You have to move. You have to touch. You have to lick. You have to suck. You have to taste. So, and by doing that, then you'll help your partner perform better because he or she won't even think about what he or she has to do next because of your touch, because of your licking, because of your smelling. They will just be like a magnet. So, our first fear, performance anxiety. What do you ladies can add on just what I said?
Toby, go ahead.
I love how you talked it my way. Toby, go ahead. Wow. Fear of being shamed after exploration is huge. Why I say that? Well, I don't have any fear of anything when it comes to sex. Not at all. I've been exposed to absolutely probably every kind of sex there is on the planet. So nothing scares me now, but what used to scare me, I'll add fear of being shamed. Me, I never had anything shaming me or my experience, but a lot of people have tried to shame me for my exploration or my experiences. Can't happen. But that's only because they're shameful about it, you
Mhm.
know? But
Fear of judgment. That's
yeah,
the fear
there
of
we go.
judgment.
There
Yeah,
we
that,
go.
that
Fear of
that's an
judgment.
item on my list. Yeah, that's a common fear also, fear of judgment.
Yeah. So, Irina, you want to throw one in there?
Yeah, you know what comes for me, like, but before we went live we were talking about it, like, what are the fears, and Toby said, I don't have any fears, and I said, I don't think so, I have either, but I guess we already worked through that stage when we were having the fears, right? Obviously a long time ago, if I recall my younger age, when I was still in the, like in the explorative state, obviously, like making sure that, like that partner likes me, right? If he's gonna come back to me, because for me it was like the biggest thing. It's like, I'm not like one night stand. I'm very serious and I'm getting attached very fast. That's why like I don't do it randomly, because I know it's, like then it's gonna be like, desiring more. So for me, those were the fears, right? And as far as exploration, yeah, at the beginning it was a lot of shyness, but the more I became myself, and the more I knew that men are even more afraid, because let we said, as we said, performances, like number one thing. Like for us, we can always perform, right? But men, not really, right? So it's like just thinking about it, that for me it was more like comforting, and knowing that, like it's okay whatever they are going through, and just to hold the space and just be there and be present. So for me it was just like I said, in a very young stage it was more like, shyness. It's more like I don't want like to lose that, what we just started, right? I don't want to lose that connection. And then like I said, like I always was that kind of person. I just tell you straight in the face what I think about you, right? So I never had the issue, I never had that struggle. And I was like, well, if they don't like it, it's their loss, it's never mine. Hmm.
I like it. I like it. You ladies went immediately in your own what you had to deal with in the past. Okay, I didn't do that. So the the because you guys started, I'm going to share mine. In the past, I will not say I don't have fear. I will say that if there is any fear lingering around and I don't see it and not aware of it, it can come out so that I can handle it. So in the past, I had to work on the me not coming fast enough, not getting my orgasm fast enough. So I was just laying there and it's like, just get off me because I'm not coming. So I had that feeling. It's like, so when I started my process, getting to know myself and becoming more sensitive and more sensual, I started to recognize it was something that I had to learn. Okay, it's a fear I had to overcome it because I needed education. Okay, and now that yeah, when I squirt and it's sacred and it's like something I do celebrate. When a woman comes to me and say to me, "Look, I'm peeing and I don't want to wet
Bad.
my bed," I tell her, "Look, you need to walk with your traveling blanket." A woman that knows herself, that is a tip for the women that are listening now, and this is a fear that you don't want to wet hotel bed or your partner's bed. You need to walk around with your traveling blanket, and I do sell them on www.enticeme.com. So I'm not marketing, but I'm using this opportunity to say that's how I do it. And they are coming with a lot of colors: red, purple, black. So you can do your girly thing and just take it out and open it up in your bed and do your thing. Don't be afraid. Don't be anxious of being yourself. So another fear is fear of pain. A lot of women are afraid of pain. They are concerned because some men want to go all out, and usually women come to me and they say to me, "Look, I don't want to do anal sex. It's painful, but my partner wants to." And that it's concerning. So I want to open up that part, anal sex. Majority of women are fearful. Not all women like it, and they don't know how to. So I'm putting things out there for you guys. What do you think about anal sex?
I don't think about it. I don't think about it. Irina?
No, I don't do the anal, but it doesn't mean that I would never do it.
What I usually get in here is because they don't know you have to use a very good lubricant to have something inserted in your anus. You cannot, it's not being lubricated by itself. It's not doing that. And maybe if you want to try it out, you need to start with a smaller size and then have a starter kit. I also sell that. It comes with three butt plugs, a smaller size, a medium
You
size.
sell all of this shit, Dina, and I didn't know about it?
www.enticeme.com, and it's in LA, so you'll get it the next day.
Well, I'm
You
in
know what?
Montreal, Canada, so I won't get it the next day.
Oh, 2 days after.
But I don't know. But what?
It's in the US.
Anyway, we'll talk later about what kind of things you got on there. I'll go check out your
Dina,
site.
you know what comes to me when it's all like any kind of exploration requires the right partner. If the partner is right, you are willing to explore, because the partner has to be very attentive, very caring, knows exactly what they are doing, not just want something for want, but they don't even know how to perform, right? So it
Yes.
takes somebody who is skillful, it takes somebody who is willing and open to be patient, because for women it's number one. Like, if you are really wanting to explore something with a woman, you have to have a lot of patience, you have to show you care, and you have to really do it slowly, and really really make her comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah,
I totally agree with. I do give that. I do coach. I have a workshop, 2 hours, backside door. Yeah, back door basics. Backdoor basic. It's
backdoor basics.
Uh-huh.
Gee, how come you're not a porn star? Like, really, with all of this stuff?
No,
like,
no. I don't. I'm not an exhibitionist.
Okay.
Education.
It's
Uh-huh.
all
I
education,
would not-
Tobi.
Sorry.
It's all education.
Uh-huh.
We are just not used to that, and that's like a lot of times it raises
Oh,
the brows for a lot of people. But yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Irina. I threw Fantasia parties for years. Those are sexual fantasy parties, like not the acts, but selling all the products. Oh, yes, I did. And trust me, I filled my shelves with all of my the sales that night where I made all those commissions. Hey, trust me, I'm very educated about sexual things. Just like, okay, we'll talk back about fears about intimacy. You know how scared I was to try kink? Because when I heard that you needed a safe word, I was like, what the fuck is this? But the more I dabbled, the more it was enjoyable, and the more it was like, really? Like, hey, I want a dungeon, So yes, fears will arise. And yes, you can't do it with just anybody. But yes, you also have to educate yourself with what's out there and what's possible. Like, I'm somebody who sits here like Dina. I may not be a sex coach, but let me tell you, I am highly sexually educated and experienced. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that.
No, there's no shame. I love it. I love it when you talk like that. But a lot of women don't have that, didn't have this part in their life. You had it, and maybe it helped you through your journey, because I do think sexual energy is a spiritual energy, is a creative energy.
It is.
So,
It's a healing energy. It's
Yes,
a healing
Exactly. Healing
energy.
energy as well.
Because it heals us also, you see?
Mhm.
So it's a healing fundamental energy for us. And if
Yes.
we don't use it to our benefit, and guys, for the audience, look, when you're having any kind of intimacy, it should involve the 5 senses. For you to have a complete and fulfilling experience, it should, yes, enhance your 5 senses.
yes,
Not just 1 or 2, all 5.
Yes.
So, when you think about your last sexual encounter, how many of their senses were worked in that? Were you actually engaged, or were you sitting back, holding back that little part of you that you wanted to rip out of your chest and say, ha, I'm here? Well, let that come to surface, because if you don't, you're bottling something up and you're not exploring and you're not expanding and you're not getting to know the fullest potential of pleasure that you can experience.
Yes.
Do it safely. And yes, don't just do it with anybody. But once you are in a committed relationship or committed contract of sexual interaction, because that can happen too. So when that happens, whatever, however you drop it, it's okay for you, but do it safely. That's all.
Yeah.
And read the fine print if you get served with a love offer like that.
Yes. Now, I would like for us to talk about strategies, how to cope with these fears. So, you spoke a lot about some strategies already, Toby. We spoke about education. Educate yourself. If you don't have that luxury, as Toby had, to learn this in her own space, hire a sex coach. Yeah, or a coach, because the coaches can help you out. They will figure it out. You don't really need to be a sex coach to, because they'll help you figure some things out. A sex coach has that information already, has workshops. So that's what I have. But I don't think a coach cannot provide the information. No, I don't think so.
You know what comes for me, Dina? It all starts from our mental clarity, right? And openness. Again, no matter which area of our life we take, either intimacy or relationship, or just, like be around in this world as a human being, we know that when you have the open mindset and when you have the growth mindset, you are going to be curious for the exploration. But there are many people who have very fixed mindset, and they're not open for anything, and they would be like, why should I hire a coach or the sex coach? It's like, my life is good as is, because they are not allowing themselves to go into the areas, right, and explore and see if that's for them, or if it's not for them. The idea is you have to really, really train your mind first to be open and willing. Again, will is everything. If you are not desiring something, nobody can make you happen. Nobody is going to make it happen for you. So you have to have that desire to explore, desire to really feel, all the emotions, the desire to get connected to another humans on all levels, right? Desire to be more sensual and explorative. But for some, there are people who don't really care for that. And it's okay, because that's their choice.
But also, too, I think the biggest fear that there is the fear of the unknown. And people judge things from not knowing what it is and not experiencing it. So then, therefore, they limit their experience. And everybody's meant to live to the fullest capacity of which they can. So there's way too many people that have the fear of the unknown and the fear of just being intimate with anybody, period, that it just totally destroys any kind of proper bonding connections with anybody, with themselves even. So it's really, really important, because, there's also, everybody believes that there's, this fear of intimacy has to only do with somebody else. No, it can have to do with your interactions with your own self. And you know what? It governs your being more than you realize, because it is your sacral creative center of your being. It's a powerful center. And if you're not rooted and safe in who you are and feel secure and confident, no matter who you are, well, nothing intimate is going to feel good to begin with, because the creative sacral chakra center, which is above your root, if you're not safe in your being, you can't even access your creative power. So stop fearing the unknown. And, to have divine energy, break that word down. It's dive in. Go within, figure yourself out, and you're supposed to be
open yourself up.
joyful
Yes.
of every experience, right? So
Mhm.
intimately don't be fearful about being intimate with your own being.
Amen. Wow. I love that. As you
And
said, go ahead.
can I just quickly add that, like just for everybody who is watching, because I'm sure there are going to be people who are having like shame and guilt around these kind of topics, just to remind you all that we are all vibrating on the frequency. And the lowest frequency, believe it or not, are shame and guilt and judgment, right? So the more you are staying in these low frequencies, guess what? The more of that reality you're gonna attract to yourself. So just like start leveling up, start like really climbing up the ladder of the emotional scale, and get at least on the neutral, and just like be a little bit more open and receptive, and just like if you're here for the information, that's fine, but if you're here for the transformation, reach out.
I like what you mentioned about the neutrality zone, and you're mentioning the scale. And this is actually the energetic Jacob's ladder that you have to climb within
Mhm.
yourself. And when you're living in shame, you can't feel joy. Simple as that. And when you hit that courage mark within your being, that's what the neutrality point is after that. And unless you can be neutral to everything from your past, all the shame,
Mhm.
blame, guilt, denial, non accept, all of that stuff Irina just mentioned, well, then you're shackled to it. And unless you find that neutrality point to get past that hump, there's no way you'll ever feel pleasure in your life.
Mhm.
So, energetically, you must find that loving pleasure for yourself first in order to even be intimate and have pleasuring intercourse or interactions.
Mhm.
Yes. Amen. That's how it is. So, last, because the time flies, so I would love to tell everybody, if you do have these fears, it's because maybe you need to put attention at communicating better what your needs, and set boundaries, and be consistent in what you would love to experience and what not. um, Respect each other's space, and the fear will be decreasing more and more if you keep these tips consistently, if you are consistent with these tips. What do you think? What do you use? What did you use in the past for your fears?
I don't remember what I used, but I just wanted to offer everybody to journal, like to understand exactly what is your particular fear. Because we kind of talk about ours, or in general, there are a lot of different fears around, intimacy. Maybe there was a bad past experience, maybe there was a trauma, right? Because everybody has their own fears. And just for you to sit down with the journal and start writing, like really really start asking yourself this question: what are my fears around the intimacy? And you'd be surprised how your hand is going to start writing all these things that you didn't even think about.
And you know what's funny is that when you realize that every belief that you have around sex is not your own to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to want to take a look at that. And you're going to want to look at the people that planted you with those beliefs. Have they had sexually fulfilling lives?
Mm-hmm.
If not, you better go and check what your belief systems are about sex and completion. Because guess what? Sad to say, but listen, how you watched your parents love each other, if that was the case, or if you whatever, that's where your belief systems construct about intimacy and
Mm-hmm.
interactions anyway. So if you
Mm-hmm.
haven't done the inner work, which everybody's mentioning, reach out. Listen, man, Alpha, you mind mastery. That's what it's all about. Empowering your emotional mastery from an energetic and your etheric mind, your higher mind. That's what I'm all about. And governing yourself from that. And from there, there's no fear. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully, beautifully said.
And
So,
before we go, maybe we should add, now that Toby opened up a Pandora box in me. Sometimes fear, we all have fears. Okay, maybe the how big it is, that's a difference. Okay, and you can use your fears to as a trampoline
Mhm.
to build yourself up. So when I feel my heart pumping a little bit harder, it's my time to see what can I do. And I'm like, I want to see. I'm like a little girl. I'm looking for opportunities. I'm,
Mhm.
you can call it fear, but for me, it's I'm looking for opportunities. And if I see it, I go.
Mhm.
You can use your
Yep.
fears like that also.
Absolutely. So great tips, great conversation. And let us know in the comments if that was helpful, what we think about the topic, because obviously, the more we hear about you, the more we know what else we can bring on these episodes. Again, sending you lots of love and light. Continue exploring, right? Because life is all about discovery, and make your life more fun and joyful. Thank you. Bye.